I guess in the very early days, we became involved in building houses. We had a meeting with Habitat for Humanity. We thought, why should we reinvent the house building wheel? So we had a meeting with them in Antigua. They came and did a survey and a census of the community and said, the community has a lot of need in the housing department, but we can't help them because they're too poor. They can't provide the minimum that we require in our program, so they're too poor to be helped. So we thought, well, maybe we can fit into that kind of role. We met with an NGO type person, met with him in Antigua about starting a school. And he said, well, you're just wasting your time. There's no point in doing that. It'll never work. And we said, well, we have more faith in what we believe God is wanting to do. It was simply a humanitarian effort on their parts, but this was God's project. And he had bigger plans than just humanitarian aid. So we didn't listen to that, and started with 2 years of kindergarten. It was something for the kids instead of being on the streets or doing nothing. I guess it was after that we decided, well, why don't we just simply start? Next year we'll have a grade 1. That was the impetus for adding a year at a time. Here we are today.
When you started, did you think it would get to this point?
Well, I had no idea, but when you look at it now, you just have to stand there and marvel. When we bought this land, we had a donation, and Marco and I came up the hill here looking for land. And part of it I thought would never be used, but that's the only land that was available for sale up here. And so we bought it. And I remember questioning over and over, do you really think people will send their kids up here? Do you really think this is going to be possible? Obviously, they thought so. And when we first came up here, and when we started working, it wasn't even possible to think what we were thinking, that we could actually do this project. But God sent people along that made it possible. That's how it was built. I don't know how we thought we could. In our ignorance, I guess we thought we could. But Scripture says that God chooses foolish of the world to confound the wise. That's what this is. God says, I know the plans I have for you. We just had to say yes. And that first year that we came, we met God in a powerful way. But we certainly don't want it to be man's best efforts, but we want to follow what God's plans are. Education for these children is important, not just for their employment life, but also for their spiritual life. Bring them to a saving knowledge that will change lives, individuals' lives, their parents' lives, brothers and sisters' lives. I mean, that is God's plan.
Throughout our more than 20 years of working in Guatemala, we have seen God's hand and provision in miraculous ways. What started as a small kindergarten class is now a thriving K-12 Christian school, where children come to know the love of God. This foundation of love brings safety and healing to their lives, helping them believe the truth about who God made them to be. As their lives are transformed, the impact spreads to their families, communities, and nation, breaking generational cycles of poverty and brokenness. We have clearly seen the effectiveness of this vision over our many years of ministry, and we sincerely believe that quality, Christ-centered education is the key to true sustainable change in Guatemala. Just as in the early days of our ministry, we once again find ourselves starting something that can only be accomplished with God's help. Our second campus in Poptun Peten is already in its 4th year of operation and growing exponentially. After starting in 2023 with 6 students in their living room, Hervin and Jasmine now run a school that has almost 50 students ranging from kindergarten to grade 5.
You'll never find a better couple to do what they're doing at church plant as well as starting the school, and to give it a chance to go beyond the early grades and keep them there to fulfill that aspect of their lives. What's happening there, and it's a school. It looks and feels like a school. It's run by the same people that started here, and it's a complete transplant of the school culture. A different kind of a start than we had here. There was a lot of learning went into this start. We've learned something, and something that works, something that is responded to well by the community, by parents and by kids. It's pretty powerful.
The new campus we plan to build in Poptun in the coming years will be a fountain of hope and transformation in a region that desperately needs it. The scope and ambition of this project are enormous, and operating both the Poptun and Pastora schools while we build will require significant ongoing support from our donors, as well as God's miraculous provision. But He has brought us this far, and we are confident that He will complete the work He started and fulfill the vision He has called us to. Your generous donations allow us to provide a quality, Christ-centered education to over 300 students across Guatemala and ensure that the next generation will also have access to this life-changing vision. Every gift is a seed sown in faith that will bear the fruit of real impact, resulting in a legacy of transformed lives to the glory of God.